For years, we've been told that 10,000 steps a day is the magic number. But that number became popular long before we had strong data to back it up. In fact, 10,000 steps a day was a marketing slogan back in the 60s or 70s. And here's the good news. If you're over 40 and not walking much right now, you don't need to jump up to 7,000 or 10,000 steps a day. Today, I'm going to show you a research summary table that tracks health outcomes from 2,000 steps a day all the way up to 12,000. And you'll see something really encouraging. Even at 4,000 steps a day, it can be a powerful starting point. And the benefits keep stacking the more you increase your steps. Then I'll give you a simple plan on actually how to achieve this. After 40, walking is not just about weight loss, it's about protecting things that matter. This is your heart, your brain, your blood sugar levels, even mood and your independence. And the reason I like step counts is that they're simple. You don't need to be an exercise person, you just need a starting number and a way to build it up. This table comes from a large meta-analysis, pulling data from 31 countries and almost 300,000 people. Step counts were measured using pedometers and accelerometers, and the researchers looked at the outcomes relating to mortality, cardiovascular disease, cancer outcomes, diabetes, dementia, depression, and falls. So this is an observational research. So it's not about guarantees, but the pattern is consistent. The more daily steps you take, the more it's associated with better health outcomes. Now here's how to use this table. Let's start low. A lot of people are sitting around 1,000 to 2,000 steps a day without even realizing it. So the goal is not to jump to 7,000. The first goal is to add 1,000 steps. Even when going from 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day, the standout stat is all-cause mortality. And there's around a 23% lower risk at 3,000 steps a day compared to 2,000. So basically, even a small increase in daily walking is associated with meaningful health improvements. So if you're starting low, aim for just 3,000 steps a day. Now let's go to 4,000 steps. And this is why I love this as a starting target, because realistically, it's easy to do for most people. At 4,000 steps a day, cardiovascular disease mortality, which is if you die from a heart attack or heart disease, is 39% lower compared to 2,000 steps a day. People in this range had substantially lower cardiovascular death risk. So if 7,000 steps a day feels impossible, aim for 4,000 as your next milestone. Next is 5,000 steps. This is where I like to switch the focus from the heart to the brain. At 5,000 steps a day, the dementia association is around 27% lower compared to 2,000 steps a day. And this is motivating because brain health is something you might not be thinking about today. It's something that you can help protect yourself when you get older. So even if you go from 4 to 5,000, that's not a lot extra, and it's a good investment to make for your health, especially your brain health. Now we move to 6,000 steps a day. At 6,000 steps a day, depression symptoms are around 18% lower compared to people walking 2,000 steps a day. And what's interesting about mood is this table keeps improving as steps climb. So for a lot of people, this range is where they might start noticing a difference. Better energy, better sleep, and a better baseline mood, especially if you can go walking outside in nature. Now last year there was lots of headlines saying 7,000 steps a day is the new target. And this is a big milestone for many people, especially if you're not doing many steps. At 7,000 steps a day, type 2 diabetes risk is around 14% lower compared to 2,000. And this is another one of those outcomes that keeps trending down the more you increase your steps. So 7,000 is a great thing to aim for. It's not a magic number, but it's a realistic number. Then after you get past 7,000 steps, the returns are smaller, but there's still some real outcomes that you can get from doing more than 7,000. At 8,000 steps a day, falls are around 30% lower compared to 2,000 steps. And 30,000 is around the maximum you get. It doesn't seem to keep improving the more steps you do. So aim for around 8,000 steps a day. And walking is not just about cardio, it's helping balance, strength, and even confidence and mobility. So let's look at 9,000 steps a day. Cancer mortality is around 38% lower when you compare it to 2,000 steps a day. Cancer incidence changes more gradually, but cancer mortality shows a stronger trend the more steps you do. And the big message is the same. More movement is associated with better long-term outcomes. Now let's come back to dementia. This is where the curve starts to plateau. At 10,000 steps a day, dementia is around 45% lower compared to 2,000 steps. But after that point, the more you do, it doesn't seem to lower more than that. So for brain health, 9,000 to 10,000 steps a day is enough. And once you get to 11,000 steps a day, all-cause mortality drops around 51% compared to just doing 2,000 steps a day. So while the curve starts to flatten the higher you go, the benefits are still there if you go from 10 to 11 to even 12,000 steps. And finally, 12,000 steps. It's like having extra credit. And once again, we'll highlight mood. At 12,000 steps a day, depression symptoms are 39% lower compared to 2,000. And this doesn't mean that everyone needs to aim for 12,000 steps a day. It means that benefits keep going up past 7,000, but even at 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 steps, you're going to get a lot of benefits from just walking. So here's a simple action plan. Step 1. Find your baseline. For the next 3 days, track your average. Gather the data, no judgment. And if you're not getting 7,000 plus steps, go to the next level. If you're already getting 7 to 10,000, you're doing amazing. So if you're getting less than 7,000, aim to add 1,000 steps per day. Don't go from 4 to 7,000, just go from 4 to 5,000 or 2,000 to 3,000. And just slowly build up to the next milestone. Try and maintain that extra 1,000 for a week. And if you get into that 8,000 to 12,000 steps a day, that is fantastic. You're going to get all the benefits from walking. You could be walking outside or walking on a treadmill, which could be great to do if you live somewhere really hot or wet or cold. But if you don't have a treadmill, here are some other options you can do just walking at home. Walk around the house for 5 to 10 minutes after you eat. You can even march on the spot. That's counted as steps while you're watching TV. Even doing that for 10 minutes and the steps will gradually build up. If you're on the phone, you can answer the phone and be walking around while you're talking to someone. Add a 5-minute walk or a 10-minute walk after each meal each day. Park further away from your destination and just add a few extra steps walking. So here's the takeaway. Every 1,000 steps you add is going to improve your health outcomes. Let me know in the comments what your average is. If you're in the 7,000 plus, fantastic. And if you're only around the 2 to 3 or 4,000, that's okay. You've got something to work at.